welcome to this week's summer reading project. This is one that I was most excited about, and today we are making counterweight trebuchets. And a trebuchet is kind of like a sling. You'll use a similar sense of power and momentum to launch heavy objects over walls. They were used to take down super thick walls of things like castles. We, of course, are not surrounded by castles, but we're going to take the same idea and try and make a trebuchet. So what I have here are the craft sticks, and I liked these because of these grooves to be able to make the frame a little more sturdy with a little less guesswork. I have straws in 2 different sizes, up to you, marbles, duct tape, my rubber bands are off to the side. I unfortunately only have 1 portion cup, though everyone else should have 2. And so to make up for the other one, I have this piece of a plastic bag. And I'm going to need a pair of scissors. My first step is going to be to design my trebuchet here. And so a trebuchet needs to be tall enough that the straw with 2 cups doesn't hit any of the frame, but it still needs to be supported enough to be freestanding. So here I'll probably have to reinforce it a little bit. This I'll have to be careful of. That actually might go down like that because I can't have the cups hit anything. Okay, so on to my drafting phase. So I need 4 craft sticks to make the base. I'm going to make my base a square, but I'm going to use 2 triangles to reinforce that, because we have talked about in the past, triangles are a little sturdier than squares, significantly sturdier than squares actually. So from there, I need the tall part of my frame. I am thinking I'm actually going to let my frame go down as a triangle and just have 1 bar across the top. My straw, which is what I'm going to use for my like seesaw in the middle, is going to be 1 long piece, and it'll have, my bag will be in the front and then the cup will be in the back. Okay, so on to building. My first step is to build the base, and I need it to be, I need a square. Okay, and then I'm going to use 2 of these craft sticks to reinforce the center. And right now I'm going to use the duct tape as adhesive. That's why you have it, because I wanted to attempt a project where you don't have to use glue to keep your sticks together. So I'm going to start taping this down and see about how high I can build my frame, and I will be right back. Hey, okay, so I built my base. I'm a little concerned that this might be too narrow, but it's how it turned out with the length of the craft sticks I had. And then I took a second to tape some of the craft sticks together to make these longer, to make longer sticks for the frame. And I want to show you really quickly the other style of frame that I saw, and I might have to try that one, allowed the frame to come up and the beam across here, but on the sides were the triangles. So this would be flat in a line, those would be flat in a line, and your beam would just rock back and forth here. I'm going to try what I set up first, but if this doesn't work, I might have to restructure it to look a little more like this. So the idea, right, is that on this side is going to be the cup, and in here I'm going to put whatever I'm launching. And in this side is going to be my bag. It's going to have marbles in it, and it's going to be my weight to weigh it down to be able to launch the other object up. We'll see how it goes. But first, let's get back to what I was building. So my next step needs to be making this frame tall. So I might start on the side closest to me and build up. And my intention had been to build this part up and then lean these this way using some of those same grooves. And I'm just a little hesitant. Let's see. Maybe if I put it on the outside. I'm a little concerned that just because this is so tall, and it needs to be tall just so I have full movement of my beam, which is what this part in the middle is called, I am a little concerned that these are too tall to be supported by this little base. So I'm actually going to back up. I'm going to try and build this other style of frame, and then when I get it all together, I'll be right back. Hey, okay, so I did end up building my frame the other way, and the advantage of it is these two pieces can now stand up on their own. So I have my triangles as the base. If I had extra craft sticks, I might reinforce it, but I'm actually going to run out. And so on the top is going to go this piece where I'm going to balance it. And then I think I'm going to end up using the thick straw, and I'm going to set it along the top. You all should have a skewer or toothpick or something small that you would be able to use instead of this big old craft stick, but mine seems to be missing. So I'm going to end up using this. Oops. And when I get this piece on, it'll connect these two together, so this whole thing is a little more sturdy. Then I'm going to put my beam on and attach my cups, and we are almost done. So give me just a second. I noticed when I was trying to put my craft stick on, because it was flat on one side, I couldn't get it to spin, and I needed it to rotate so that the beam could rock back and forth. So I ended up using my extra piece and cutting off little pieces of straw and adhering with the tape that to the frame because it acts almost as a holder. So this is my frame with a piece to hold my beam. And then for my beam, I have a little pouch here with my marbles because I only have one portion cup. I used a rubber band to put that on to my straw. And then on this side is my portion cup, and this is what I'm going to put whatever I'm launching so that the weight goes down and this launches up. I put the craft stick through the straw. It reinforced it a little better, it gave it a little more grip. And so what happens when I put it all together is I have my frame right here next to each other. This side of the craft stick goes on one end, and this side of the craft stick goes on the other. There we go. And you'll notice it's obviously weighed down by the marbles, but if I lift up the marbles, I can put something in it. And then if I drop it, it'll launch. I really did need another craft stick here on the bottom to be able to reinforce it, but I've unfortunately run out. If you have an extra craft stick or you have one left over from one of our past projects, please feel free to reinforce your frame. And so all I need now, let me grab a little piece of paper, is I'm going to see if I can launch this. So I'm going to have to hold my frame down when I'm launching this because I did need that extra craft stick. I don't have it. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this little paper ball. I'm going to lift up the weight and see if it launches things. Ready, set? It worked! Awesome! Have a great week and happy learning!